Oktoberfest is coming to New Bedford. The 12th annual Oktoberfest is happening Saturday, October 14th on State Pier in New Bedford. Here to talk about the event is Kevin Trahan, the chairman of Oktoberfest for the Southcoast Business Alliance. Kevin, welcome.
Thanks, Jim. I appreciate you having me in this morning to talk about Oktoberfest. We're really excited about it this year.
First off, I want to answer the question, what is the Southcoast Business Alliance? We were talking off the air, and you mentioned you get that question quite a bit.
We do.
So tell us about it.
We do. So Southcoast Business Alliance, it almost has a misleading name because it sounds like we're a business of some type, but we are a nonprofit. It was started about 14 years ago from a couple local guys. I wasn't one of the original founders, but it was essentially a group of young professionals who felt as though they were making strides in the community, having success in their own personal business lives, and wanted to find a way to give back. So it was started with that in mind, and it's just grown to now we're a group of 22 people, and guys, girls from the New Bedford South Coast area, and all kinds of varied businesses. And basically we do two major events every year. We do a golf tournament in May called the Cinco de Mayo Tournament. That's usually at the Country Club in New Bedford. And then our premier event is Oktoberfest.
How did you get involved with Oktoberfest? And sometimes people become chairman of these events because it's their turn.
That's right. That's right. Well, I'll be honest. A very good friend of mine, Christian Farland, he was a member. He's one of the original members. And about 8 years ago, he invited me just to go down and give a hand one morning while they were setting up the event. So I was there from sunrise until the final person left and the final keg was empty, and a lot of the other guys there took notice of my efforts that day. So they shortly after that they invited me to a meeting and asked me if I wanted to become a member of the SCBA, which I was honored to do. And ever since then, I've just really, fell in love with the event, with the people that we work with, and most importantly, with all the different charities that we're able to help out. So Nick Francis, who was the chairman of Oktoberfest from the beginning, has kind of brought me along. Been by his side the last 4 or 5 years from setup to finish, and when he stepped aside this past year, fortunately, I was the unanimous choice to become the new chairman. It is certainly a lot of work, but again, it's very much worthwhile, and we have a great group of people. I'm surrounded by such talented people that are just such go-getters. Really, the responsibilities are shared amongst so many. It's great. It really is.
All right, for those who don't know, what is Oktoberfest?
Oktoberfest is a big, huge beer party. There are Oktoberfest celebrations all over the world. Ours is unique in the fact that we do have it on the waterfront in New Bedford. We're on the State Pier building. We're inside the building, and we have food trucks outside on the pier. We have an amazing lineup this year of entertainers, and we have a lot of different beer. And what's exciting this year is we have local beer, which in the past we haven't had because there wasn't local beer. So, this year we have Moby Dick Brewery, and we also have Greasy Luck. They're going to be down there, as well as a lot of the breweries from Westport and all throughout the South Coast, Rhode Island, and some nationwide beers and stuff that people will recognize when they get there. But most importantly, it's variety, because people nowadays, they're looking for craft beers and trying this and experimenting with different flavors and hops and so forth. So we're going to give the public a chance to try hundreds of different varieties of beer.
Yeah, that has really been something that has exploded, I guess. I would say the last 5 years, but maybe it's been longer than that. But craft beers all of a sudden are very, very popular.
They are. And, there's something out there for everyone. I mean, personally, I'm not a big beer drinker, but there's always 2 or 3 varieties that I try every year that I think, wow, this is pretty good. And I find myself looking for different ones to try. We do offer some wine selections for those who just don't like beer. Mm-hmm. We're even going to have smoothies this year. Tropical Smoothie is going to be down there. They're helping us out as one of our sponsors. So if you don't like beer and you don't like wine, you can maybe try a smoothie instead.
All right. How do you get tickets for this event? This is a annual event, the 12th annual, and it's as we speak here, about 6 days away because the show airs on Sunday, so it's about 6 days away.
Sure.
So how do we get tickets?
Sure. So there's a couple ways. You could get them right at the door if you wanted to. They're $20 at the door, but if you prepay online, they're $15. So you can do that by just following our website link, which is nboktoberfest.com. We're also on Facebook. You can just search for Southcoast Business Alliance or Oktoberfest, and it'll pop up, and there's a link right there to purchase the tickets at a discounted price. Once you get into the event, you can buy as many beer tickets as you like. We're doing a couple different specials this year. Three beers for $20 is the kind of the standard special that we have going. And again, you can buy as much or as little as you'd like. Then there's also a ton of different food vendors that are going to be outside, food trucks, some local favorites. We've got Two Sisters coming this year. We've got Cool Licks coming this year. The Fancheesico food truck, which is a huge hit if you like grilled cheese sandwiches of many different varieties, and a few others. And again, primarily what we try to do is bring in local people, to not only come enjoy the day, but to be there as vendors and sponsors. So, and that's another thing I'd like to talk about too, is that, we're very lucky to have just great support through the community, the business community locally. We've solicited so many local businesses, and they've all been very, enthusiastic to help us. So we've got some great local sponsors, and they'll be showcased at the event with banners and such. So when you come down, you'll see who's supporting our cause.
What are the hours for this event?
So we kick off at 3 p.m., and last call is usually around 11:15. 11:45, we try to get everyone headed out, and midnight it's all over. The live music begins at around 5:30, and from 5:30 right until the doors close, we'll have live music. So it's pretty exciting.
We'll talk to you about that in just a moment.
Sure.
You're listening to Townsquare Sunday, by the way. My name is Jim Phillips. My guest is Kevin Trahan of the Southcoast Business Alliance, the sponsors of Oktoberfest, happening October 14th at the State Pier in New Bedford. You are raising money with this event, and much of it, if not all of it, will go back into the community. Tell us how that is.
Perfect. So we are one of the only nonprofits that has zero overhead. One of our members has office space. He's kindly donated it to us, so we have our own office on County Street, free of charge. No one that is a member of the SCBA takes any perks or benefits or salary or anything like that. So basically, after we've paid off all the costs for the event, renting the stage, paying the entertainers, we buy the beer that's sold to everybody, everything that goes into it. Once we've paid all the bills, whatever's left in the pot goes right back to our designated charities. And over the years, we've supported Children's Advocacy Center of Bristol County, Star Kids Scholarship Program, the Smiles Program, which is an amazing program.
Mentor program.
It's a mentor program. The Boys and Girls Club. Something that we're all very proud of is we have seeded 2 separate scholarships for UMass Dartmouth, one for a male and one for a female. It's fully seeded. We give it out every year, one each, and we've created what we call the Legacy Fund with a goal of $100,000 for an endowment. And the reason we decided to do that was we all know that we're getting older. We may not be able to do this going forward, as enthusiastically as we do now. But it doesn't mean we don't want to continue helping out all the different causes we've been doing. So the goal of this fund is to reach $100,000. Right now, we're sitting at a total of $64,525. When we hit that $100,000, we will have fully seeded this endowment, and all of our charities that we support now will be supported from here on out, forever and ever. So it's something we're really proud of and we're really excited about.
I would say, folks, this list, you can see it, I think, on websites connected to this event.
Yep.
But there's a list of 25 or so organizations that they have supplied money to in the past. And the 2 events, the golf tournament and this event, I guess, have raised about $650,000 over the years.
Total over the last 12 to 13 years, and just in the last 5 years since I've been really involved, we've donated over $218,000. So it's a substantial amount to raise that amount by doing just 2 events annually. Is something, like I said, something we're very proud of. And a lot of people, when they come to Oktoberfest, especially, most of the feedback or most of the complaints, not that we get a lot, but the complaints we hear are, you guys are making so much money. Why is it $20 to get in, and then we still have to buy beer and we still have to buy our food? And what we just try to explain to people is, you're coming to an event. It's a charity event. And the whole purpose is, we're just trying to improve the lives of kids in New Bedford, and this is just one way to do it. Yes. So that's where the money's going.
People who go to this event are giving back in their own way, and they are helping you. You guys are
Absolutely.
Yes, you're the event sponsor. You want to see it successful, but you're also the facilitators in getting money to these organizations.
Absolutely,
which is a great idea. Most of these recipients are educational establishments. Is that right?
That's right. Educational, or a lot of like after-school programs, a lot of youth athletic programs we've helped. We actually built the gym at the Boys and Girls Club, the boxing gym that they have there. We completely built that whole gym from the ground up. That's just one example. We work with the YMCA and their after-school program. So it certainly is a youth-based charity. It's not just strictly educational. Something that we like to do is mentor young kids. So throughout the year, members of the SCBA will go into different schools, and we'll do presentations. We'll speak to them about the different businesses that we're in, and try to show kids what's out there. School is very important, and we want them to stick through it and have hopes and aspirations, and we want them to stick local. That's the other thing. We're all very proud to be from this area. We love what's going on in the city and in the South Coast in general, and we want to see good, motivated young kids grow up here and stay here and continue to let this city and this area thrive.
We can't overlook the entertainment at this year's event, including one prominent local band with our friend Ken Pittman.
That's right.
Which is Living on a Bad Name. Who else?
Yep. So Living on a Bad Name is certainly they're our primary featured act this year. But we also have the wonderful Craig DeMello and his group, Craig DeMello and Friends, and we also have a group called the Poor Men. All 3 are local, and all 3 draw different types of crowds, and that's the other wonderful thing about Oktoberfest. It is a beer event, so it is a drinking event, but we don't have any set type of demographic that comes. I mean, we have 21-year-olds, we have UMass kids, but we have 40-something-year-olds, we have 70-year-olds. I mean, you name it, because it's just such a diverse entertainment lineup that we have, and it's just such a great, fun atmosphere. So that's something that we really pride ourselves in. Of all the years we've held this, we've never had any bad situations. We've never had the police involved with anything. I mean, it's just always a good, wholesome environment.
Never.
Not to my knowledge, okay?
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
9 years or whatever it's been with you.
Nobody's been kicked out or anything like that. So we've got a pretty good track record, and we're hoping it stays that way.
How about parking? What's the plan for parking?
So luckily, the State Pier has quite a bit of parking, and it's open to all of our attendees that day and that evening. Also, just down the road, of course, you have the City Pier, which also has free parking. So if you park on the City Pier, you'll just have to walk over to the State Pier. It's not a far walk.
Nope.
Worst case scenario, you could park downtown and just walk across Route 18 and come in that way. I'll be honest, all the years we've been down on the waterfront, we've not had anybody complain about parking. So something that is different this year, and I'd like the listeners to know, especially people who have attended in the past, they're doing wonderful things on the State Pier, and the portion of the building that we've been in the last 5 years is now being turned into a refrigerated building for, I believe they said it's going to be tangerines or oranges or something coming in.
Fruit freight.
Yeah, fruit freight, exactly.
I'm
Say that sure 5 times fast.
Living on a bad name and want to play in a refrigerated building.
No, I don't think they would. So
you're moving over.
We're moving over. So essentially it's the same building, but it's the opposite side of that building. So I just want everyone to know that you're going to kind of come in the same way you did in the past, and we're going to have people outside directing you to where the new entrance is. And I think people are going to be really excited because although it's the same location, it's essentially a change of venue because the other side of the building offers different optics, acoustics. In fact, our stage this year is going to be inside. We have a new production company that's doing all of our sound and lighting, and we think it's going to be a phenomenal night of entertainment where people are going to be really impressed with just the presentation and the sound and everything.
One more time for ticket information.
Sure. So you can go to nboktoberfest.com or you can find us on Facebook at Southcoast Business Alliance.
All right, very good. My guest has been Kevin Trahan of the Southcoast Business Alliance. Good luck with this year's Oktoberfest celebration, Kevin.
Thank you so much, Jim, and I really appreciate you having me in.
Saturday, October 14th, inside the, is that the Maritime Terminal building? Is that what it is?
It is, yes.
Okay.
Yep. Also known as State Pier.